How do you respond directly to those launching these attacks and distorting your message of a brighter tomorrow, hope, and unity? And also, how do you think you've managed to turn that adversity into one of the most successful mayoral campaigns we've ever seen, rising from an unknown underdog to now leading the polls in America's largest city?
Well, thank you so much, Dean, for those very kind words. I think, for me, time and again, the one of the most important things is to be able to name that which we are facing, because there's a tendency to try to brush it off. There's a tendency to just try to move through it and consider it to be solely a distraction, when in fact, what it also is a reflection of the Islamophobia that has become endemic to the politics of this city, not just to Republicans, but frankly, even beyond that, even amongst Democrats. And we've seen a lot of this kind of language that you've been describing as the language from Andrew Cuomo, who at one point was considered a preeminent leader of the Democratic Party across the country. And I think it speaks to the fact that there are many, especially in moments of desperation, as we see in these final days of the race, who show themselves willing to consider certain sets of New Yorkers to be disposable as part of their vision of who belongs in this city. And we're running a campaign with a vision of a city that belongs to all of us. I think the way that we bring it back to that is there should never be a debate as to who deserves dignity in the city. The debate should be about how government can best deliver that dignity for all who belong to the city.
Absolutely. And, it's funny because we were actually talking about maybe the first thing that you touched on there right before you joined the live stream, how, we've seen a lot of pushback against you, not just from the right, but also the left. And we've seen a divide maybe between the institutional liberals and the more progressive left for some time now. And I was telling my stream how, hopefully, when you win this election, it'll set a new precedent saying, all right, now's the time to come together. Now's the time to say, this is what we need to do to win. This is what we need to do to make this country better. And hopefully that it is no longer the time where the establishment liberals need to be pushing anybody out of their circles who may have some disagreements with them on social policy or economics. So that's super exciting. Well, thank you so much for your answer to the question. I think you nailed it. Dude, that's awesome.
I really appreciate that, man. I think, I am really excited to be the mayor for the entirety of the city, and not just the people who've been excited by this campaign, but frankly, those who voted for another candidate or didn't vote at all. And that's because this is a position to represent the 8.5 million people who call this city home, right, and set an example for what it can look like to deliver for those people. Because I think for a long time, politics has just been a choice between the little that you are given today, oftentimes too little to even feed so many across the city, and the prospect of having even less than that. And it is time to actually have an affirmative vision of more for people across the city, a vision where they can actually see themselves staying here and then doing more than just struggling here.
Yeah, exactly.